So John Mateer transferred to Oklahoma, and now he is with his former OC here, Ben Arbuckle. Alex, I wanted to ask you about his potential at Oklahoma this season. I heard Jake Dickert in a press conference when John Mateer transferred say that this kid could be the best player in college football going into next season here. Alex, how do you feel about John's potential as Oklahoma's quarterback here under Ben Arbuckle as his OC? Go ahead.
Yeah, I think speaking to just Mateer in general, I mean, he's as special a player as you'll find. A unique combination of physical tools, competitiveness, arm talent. His legs really are what separate him. Obviously, it's really hard to bring him down in the pocket. He makes a ton of off-schedule plays, and this day and age, that's obviously a premium. And so, we saw that at Washington State. He was really the straw that stirred the drink and the difference maker. I think Ben Arbuckle was a part of that, but I mean, really, that was number 10. Like, he was making a ton of plays. I think in regards to his opportunity at Oklahoma, I don't know probably enough about their roster to speak to that, other than I know that he's going to make those guys better, and he's going to make a ton of plays. So my assumption would be is that he's going to have a ton of success at Oklahoma in general. And I think going with your offensive coordinator gives you a familiarity that really helps.
Yeah, absolutely. And having that familiarity for Brent Venables in Oklahoma, I think will be really an asset to Mateer. I got to ask you about their relationship. And we saw it last season for the Cougs. Obviously, the Cougs, again, win the Apple Cup like you did back in the day. But now transitioning, going to Oklahoma, these two and their relationship, is that something that, people across college football should be looking at? Kind of a down year for Oklahoma this past season, but I think Mateer, we heard a lot of noise about him potentially going to Miami. I think a lot of teams were really after Mateer here, but him reunited with his OC, is this something more people across college football should be watching?
I think just in general, the recognition that we've seen it in pro sports. We see it in pro sports all the time, right? As players move and go to new spots, they got to learn new offenses. They got to kind of figure out how to be successful. For college football and the transfer portal, it's all pretty new, right? And we're not quite sure yet how it all plays out. But I think you can see that sometimes guys that you think are locks transfer, and they don't realize that transition of having a new offensive coordinator and going to a new city and a new school and a new locker room and all that stuff, like that can be hard, right? That's why it's hard for pros too. And those guys are that's what they do for a living. And so I think for Mateer and any other player that's able to go with their coach or end up with a coach they're familiar with, I think that's a benefit. So I think in general, when you look at the landscape of college football, we should be probably evaluating a lot of these moves based on where they're going, who they're ending up with, and what the familiarity is with that situation.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said. And it's going to be something to watch with Oklahoma. Last season, they had Jackson Arnold, and then Michael Hawkins was a true freshman last season. Now they elect to go to transfer portal. I think they're ready to win now here, so to speak. And I'm excited to see Mateer at OU. We have former Oklahoma running back Rodney Anderson joining the show Thursday, so I can't wait to get his take on Mateer in Oklahoma here.